Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's alright. So today I'm reviewing Froggy. Froggy is currently at Plat 2 with their Mercy, and we have VOD reviewed Froggy before. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with Froggy's kind of like VOD. This is purely because Froggy does play a lot better, at least from the last VOD that I saw. Plays a lot better, and has much just be kind of like stuck in that elo hell at the moment. So I'm going to be doing this VOD review for Froggy today. Once again, you can get your own VOD reviews. I do them on Mondays on my Twitch channel, and they are worth 10,000 channel points. And yeah, that's kind of basically just what it is. And I will do them live on stream, and if they do end up being messed up, then I will re-record them afterwards as well. And they do get uploaded onto my YouTube channel afterwards, so you guys can basically go back and just see kind of where you've gone wrong, or like if you need help with certain things. So yeah, so we're gonna just quickly look at the comp that we've got. We've got ourselves a Sigma, a Junkrat, an Ashe, and an Honor. We've got some really good damage boost opportunities here. Obviously, sticking with your Ashe as your main blue beam. Sigma's also got some really good ones when he goes for his rock. Junkrat, obviously, if he's spamming into like a small room and stuff like that, perfect. And Honor as well. Honor does a lot of DPS damage. Obviously, damage boosted here as well. Love the weapon charm in the skin, by the way. I was gonna say that. I always like to have a little touch onto the skins and stuff. So going to damage boost Ashe. When you're playing on this high ground, I know obviously you're saying hello to your Honor because I did see you spin around just before this. When you're playing with your Ashe, sometimes you want to play in this building, or you want to be kind of holding Angelic Descent, kind of blocking your head with this barrier. The reason is that you don't really want to be sat in this room sometimes is depending on what they've got as enemy team, right? Because if they have someone like a Junkrat that can just get a concussion mine and go boom, and they could just literally spam you out here, right? So for the first team fight, I'd always recommend kind of just hanging about here until you know what they have as a team. Once you know, and you know, for example, they have, I mean, Reaper could TP onto you, but that you have time, let's just GA away from that, right? So looking at the team, you seem to be fine if you want to play here, but obviously it's just a little thing just to think of. So we've done the exact thing, playing over out, playing cover, nice damage to your Ashe, nice heal onto your Joe, obviously going back into you with Ashe, lovely use of cover. But you bleed it back to your Ashe, which is great. I like the damage of the Junkrat there, the spam and stuff like that. I love where you're positioned right now as well. Perfect. Nice. You're doing really well here, honestly. You're playing such lovely cover and stuff. With what you just, because I feel as though for this entire sequence you could have just followed the Ashe up. With Ashe being your main blue beam target, I love, what's it called? I love, obviously, that you are going around damage boosting other people, which is great, and you really should, as well as, obviously, being with your main blue beam, there's obviously other stuff that you could damage boost. You're doing it a lot with, Junkrat and Sigma, which I really like. At this point, though, you want to be following, as soon as your Ashe went to Coach Gun up, you will want to, jump up to here, right? And then be with her up here. You kind of, I think you got, a little bit stuck, and then you did, this, jump to get up, and then you were, looking to get this Junkrat, right? You don't need to get this Junkrat. You have an Honor right here that's going to heal him, right? Leave that. Leave your Honor to heal up. She's got perfect sightline of him. Just go up, be with your Ashe, try and get some more, picks as well while they're coming out from here, and go ahead. You can even, push up with your Sigma a little bit more so say, for instance, you did that jump up, you stayed with the Ashe, and then you could just put your beam onto the Sigma while, around this corner, especially if, Ashe can't get a good angle and stuff. So, yeah, so we'll keep going. Obviously, good use of, using other things to get around, because sometimes people won't peek you and stuff. That was a bit of a necessary GA, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. I feel as though here, this entire scenario, you're playing too far forward here, I'm gonna be honest. Just as a general kind of thing, because if they still had this Junker Queen, they could easily just come and rush in and stuff like that. I don't really know why. There's no reason for you basically to be positioned here. So I would literally just kind of, because you kind of came up to this top bit here, and then you kind of hanging about here, right? Just literally just come and hang out over here. Like you were doing on the first fight, just play over here, because you're not going to be able to save your Junkrat. Your Junkrat's doing a really crazy tire in the back line and stuff like that. So literally just come play this cover. Jiggle peek it like this if you need to help your Sigma. Obviously your Honor is literally right here as well. So you don't really need to be up there. So nice blue beam on your Ashe. Healing when she de-peaks, which is great. Lovely positioning. Nice. I love this. It's like mini contest. Okay. I loved your contest. I was hoping Junk would have lived, put myself in an awkward position. Yes, alright, Froggy. Honestly, when you like see people like Junkrats doing this like tire thing a lot, they will either do it in such a safe position, like for example, he'll do it all the way over here and he'll be fine, completely out of harm's way, or he'll do it like completely like in their backline. Like there is no like other no other things and stuff like that. With this scenario, right, I feel you did the perfectly right thing going off with your Ashe, because obviously Honor can help Sigma. You did the right thing. I feel as though I would have maybe hung about a little bit more just to get a beam on him when it was like critical. And then obviously your Ashe rotated round, right? You did an amazingly really smart thing. As soon as you saw they were, they were like all focusing on the Sigma, you did the absolutely right thing to come and start contesting it. Because they got that tick, right? Perfect. And then as soon as they see you and start turning around like the Cassidy did, GA back to your Ashe and then just play over here. Play with your Ashe over here. Because you kind of like hindered yourself where you kind of did like the slingshot of like going back to the Ashe and then going on to point. And then that's how you ended up dying here, right? Literally, there is still another 2 ticks. You've done your job of stalling out for like a little bit, which gives perfect time for your Junkrat to come. Where's your Junkrat? Oh, is your Junkrat? Okay, your Junkrat's already died again. But like, it does give time for your Junkrat to get back. And then obviously it gives time for Honor to heal up Sigma and everything like that, right? So literally, in this scenario, perfect, come in, install it, but then go straight away back as soon as they start pushing you, and just play around here. Or like you can like play like even like around here-ish a little bit if you need to, if you feel like you need to help the Sigma and stuff. I think it's just unfortunate that you kind of like obviously did end up doing that, because you don't need to be on the point all the time. Basically, you still have time. Sorry, I can't fast forward it anymore because I'm on console, sadly, so it flicks for like 20 seconds. Lovely for your Junkrat to come and pick you up, which is very, very nice. Lovely going over. It's just unfortunate that your team got on, but that's fine. That's not your fault there at all. Honestly, I feel as though this whole like team fight now is like a little bit of a mess. Love helping your Junkrat get out though. Yeah, so what should have happened here is you did the absolute right thing of coming over the top. Like that was beautiful. I would have come over the top though, and instead of just dropping straight down to your Honor, because they have that Reaper, you need to, come up here and play up here instead, right? So because like I love this like movement over, perfect, but dropping down here, especially when they have this Reaper and this Cass, puts you at a lot of risk. So what you want to do is you want to kind of GA and then come up here and help from up here. It's unfortunate that people didn't touch, because that is not your job. It's like the tank's job here, absolutely. So whatever happened, happened. And then you could have helped the Sigma with the flux, I feel like, if you were here. But I don't know why he fluxed, and it could have like touched and then fluxed, but it's fine. That's absolutely not your problem, like not your fault and everything. So yeah, and then obviously you backed out, helped your Junkrat out, so that's perfect. I remember from the last one I did struggle with leaving the point alone. Yeah, I do remember, Froggy. And it's alright, honestly. You can give people ticks. Like, you did the absolute correct thing of going all for the first thing. And then just, like, let them take a little bit if you need to. Give your team a chance to, like, a mini reset. And then go back in. So, nice damage boost on the Ashe. Wants to be backing out here. Normally, I think the Ashe will, as soon as she gets her coach gun, will be coming up. Yep, perfect. I think this is like a bit of a movement issue here. Like, with Ashe, when she knows that she needs to use her coach gun, don't try and do like a super jump by yourself, because obviously it kind of risks you not being able to get up. Instead, wait for her to use this coach gun and then use your GA to get up, because it will automatically make sure that you get up. Because I feel as though you go for the super jump and you end up with your beam like disconnected and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. But you did the right thing of going to go and damage boost whoever you had around you, which obviously was the Honor, and then going to go peel for her. This is perfect. You did absolutely the right thing. So keep going. Revalk, which is nice. I don't know whether to fire. In fact, let me just go back a second. I just want to like analyze this a little bit more. So yeah, that should have been wait for her to coach gun up. GA up. It would have basically saved you from being on that weird thing. I feel as though this Valk was a little bit unnecessary, but I can see why you did it. Lovely saving for your honor to heal as well. I don't see enough Mercies doing that. Perfect going forward as well with the Junkrat. Awesome. I think just your Valk was a little bit unnecessary there. I feel as though like you could have just helped people with the blue beam and stuff like that, especially like because you were like hanging off the edge here, right? Your Sigma, even though he says it's critical, he still has a lot of HP. And I feel as though people have to kind of realize that with tanks quite a lot. Like if a tank says it's critical, like D.Va for example, D.Va could still have like 300 HP. Like, and that's even more than like the majority of the DPS, right? So you could just like, there's no need for you to like to quickly rush in and Valk. If he was like really, really weak, then I'd be like, okay, like quick, like, you know, maybe like go and help him a little bit more. But so you came up with like Peel. Honestly, just hop back over here and just help your Sigma from over here. Because with the Reaper and the Mercy ain't going to attack you unless if the Mercy like is absolutely really bust thirsty and will just come at you like with the Glock. And the Reaper isn't going to focus you because he'll see this very low HP Sigma and it's like, Sigma, Sigma, Sigma. And he's not obviously going to pay attention to you and the Ashe that's going to be here, right? So, but it's alright. I understand the Valk though, to be fair. So it's all good. I would be back up with your Ashe here. So yeah, so instead of like coming down with your Sigma here, play up with your Ashe, which is like what you're doing right now. I feel as though what you should have done is you could have like damage boost them like a little bit here and then go straight back up to the Ashe because they're going to be obviously coming through this like big open area and like your Ashe basically needs that damage boost as they're coming in. Okay, which you do the right thing now, so it's all good. Obviously nice. Helping with that. The Mercy's coming for your Ashe, which is great. I love how you're still looking out for your team, which is great. Absolutely do the right thing here. It's just, we say hello to the Mercy, which is fair enough. I love that friendliness. You put yourself in a very awkward position here for this Bob, right? You like, because I don't know whether you saw that they were like critical and formal because it's that a person. Be sure just to check who they are before you go down. With this Bob, you put yourself in a very awkward position and a very kind of like unnatural position when the Bob's nearly finished and everyone was like still quite high HP and stuff like that, right? I don't know whether you were in VC or not, but a lot of the time they can like, you could tell when people are like low HP and stuff like that in like voice and stuff. A lot of people are like, we're like the one, you know. So honestly, you don't need to be like going like with this Bob. If the Bob still like was up for a little bit longer, I would have said yes, go with the Bob. But you know the Bob is going to be leaving soon because you know the Ashe used it all the way over here like a good like 5-6 seconds ago kind of thing. All you want to do here is just stay with your Ashe. Stay up here. She's got perfect sightlines of this Mercy that's currently in the air of like just finishing off the Valk. Obviously she won't be able to get Rags to the shield, but she'll be able to get this cast that's respawning with your damage boost. And now you're kind of like not with her to in order to like assist her now because you like came over to go with this Bob. So honestly, leave that Bob alone. Don't need him. It's fine. It's all good. Lovely going upwards. Lovely noticing that you can't help the Sigma. That's perfect. Let's just watch this in 3D. I want to watch this in a 3D point of view from you. Hold on, can I? There we go. Okay, whereabouts are you right now? So yeah, this is you helping the Bob. You get yourself a little bit stuck. Okay, Sigma gets slammed. What GA percentage are you? Okay, you've nearly got GA back, right? You're with the Sigma down like this. Is Ryan gonna kill him like this? No, nobody has an honor that's like perfectly here, right? What you want to do is you want to get yourself upwards and with your Ashe again, okay? So we do that. We go up and around, which is very, very lovely. We go and help the Ashe, which is perfect. I love this. You notice you cannot help the Sigma, which is absolutely the correct thing to do. And honestly, yeah, you just stay here and just help damage boost your Ashe, right? You don't even need to look through the, like, you don't even need to look at him to notice this. Like, sure, like, you were going around and thinking, oh my gosh, like, you should kind of, like, with the higher like elos and stuff like that, as when you get higher, you become a lot more like knowledgeable about the game and like what things you can save and what things you can't save as Mercy with her healing. With here, like literally, you can see this through the wall. You can see there's a Reaper and a Rhine. They're very, very up close. They're perfect ranges for them heroes. You're not gonna be able to save the Sigma, especially because your Arna's just fallen, right? So literally, stay here with your Ashe. Stay damage boosting your Ashe up here, right? And then you got very, very lucky here. You got very, very lucky because you leave your Ashe to go and res the Sigma, which I like it, you know, awesome. But we've got a Reaper TP, and we've got a Mercy with a Glock. A very bloodthirsty Mercy coming through your Ashe. You, in this scenario, you need to stay with your Ashe, okay? And you can see why lucky, I say lucky now, because obviously they end up dying to this tire, okay? Which is very good tire from your Junkrat. I don't know why your Ashe drops, but I feel as though it's because she was very scared of this Reaper and stuff like that. But if you stayed with her, maybe waiting for this out, the Rhine is suddenly going to think, oh my gosh, 2 of my people are going to be dead, and he'll want to obviously back out or like go to the point. That then gives you your opportunity to res, okay? Because if you can literally stop, like, help all these people out, even if like Junkrat didn't have the tire, you can still go and help your Ashe out over here, right? But it's just kind of like you're just leaving your Ashe like when she needs you most, basically. But I love this res though. Obviously on the Sigma, very perfect. So like move out of the way. Love the use of the block. Just make sure you're like aiming it at someone, because I know obviously you got it out like to fire it at the Rhine, and then you kind of like just start like firing it forward. Like make sure you're still shooting it at him if you want to, because he focus that. Instead of slingshot yourself back and forth here, just play with your Junkrat. Because what's it called? So let's just quickly go back a second. So, but I'm gonna put you with first person again now. So we do the res. Yeah. So I don't mind this one with like the little things. This second slingshot though, you should just go in and just play with your Junkrat. What you need, instead of turning around and doing this flick over here, do a GA to him and flick and play over here. Play around this kind of wall here, right? Because there's going to be people respawning, and you need to help your Junkrat out here, because this fight is like, because if they get respawns and get you guys, this is going to be a really, really bad stagger for your team. So you did first backwards GA, understand, awesome, like that. This second one though, come in, flick up, and play with your Junkrat around here. Damage boost him around here. Like focus this Reinhardt, focus this Moira, all right? I don't know whether he ends up dying or not. Because then once this Junkrat gets like chased round, you just back around as well. Like you can preempty this Rhine wanting to swing onto your Junkrat, and you can come round like this. Because I feel as though like, what's it called? He ends up dying because of that. I don't know whether obviously you could have like helped like a lot more, but you could have like done like I like this like kind of like saying where it's like the thought was there, right? Because in that moment, obviously if the Junkrat dies, but you've not got to help him, then that's kind of your fault in hindsight kind of thing, because you didn't give it your all to try and save him. But if we're looking, obviously, like a, what's it called? I don't know what I'm trying to word it, but it's like, it's always like the thought has to be there kind of thing. And I feel as though you should have like gone forward to go and help at that point. Obviously, I'm liking this damage boost. I love your use of cover. You are so good at using cover. Lovely ping as well. But what? Yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. You did the absolute right things here. You pinged the cast. You played out of the LOS. You did the absolute correct thing here. Just sadly that your team didn't follow up on that ping that you did. But that was beautiful ping. Oh, I've gone backwards. Hold on. You did beautiful ping. Resing honor, beautiful GA out as well. Like knowing what you need to GA to. Lovely use of damage boost. I cannot fault your use of damage boost. Just a little bit scrappy with the movement again. I like this bout. like with this Valk, you needed to use it a little bit more on your team at some points. But apart from that, I cannot fault that. It was a very, very good Valk from you. Good use of cover as well. Loved it. Just unfortunate with that Reaper ult, because it was literally as like your Valk ended. Let me just quickly see whether you could have done anything. Oh, this is the part that I meant with the beams, by the way. If you're watching a second, you kind of like keep your beam on your Junkrat. You want to be keeping it more like with the team. Yeah, this option you need to, which is perfect. You did a little flick up here, which you shouldn't have done. Because what's good, you kind of like do this flick up, and then it's like, oh my gosh, the Bastion. You should be able to hear the Bastion already, okay? So it's just kind of like preempting that and just kind of playing behind this cover already. It's perfect what you do afterwards. Like, do not get me wrong. Like, you find that cover perfectly, like really, really quickly. That's awesome. We use a GA. I feel as though like I don't know if you would be able to back off like any quicker, because it's kind of like a reaction time thing where like as soon as you see this Reaper rafing into you, I don't know whether you would be able to make it down behind this cover quick enough, because you would have the GA in order to GA yourself back up to these people and stuff. That's just like, I think it's just really unfortunate that you literally just finish your Valk and suddenly it's like, hey, Reaper's coming in for you. But I think it's kind of just like more of like a reaction time thought process kind of thing, you know. But no worries, it's all good. We'll go ahead into the next team fight in a second, or whenever you get back. So Sigma's just died. This is probably not. If you can get this res off or like help your team, this is winnable. But looking at it now, I don't think it's very winnable. You can still come in to help though. Lovely, lovely here. I like, yeah, you're doing the right things here, staying with the Genji. Lovely. I would have come to help your Sigma a little bit more though here. Especially when your Genji was kind of like AFK, kind of not really doing anything just then. I would have like done a quick backwards GA in and out just to kind of put my B-mod and help him. Why? Because your Aunt has already fallen. We know that because you did the right choice here of having like to kind of like let her die. I feel like at this point, because your Genji had Blade. You want to pocket this Blade, get some quick like things off and stuff like that, like some picks off. You did the absolute right thing of staying and doing all the blades and stuff like that. But then when he gets shattered, I like how you left him because nobody was focusing him. That's perfect. Focus on the Genji. But as soon as like the Genji kind of like went a little bit AFK at this point, you want to kind of like go in with the Sigma, get your beam on, and do this backwards G out, just so you're able like to top him up a little bit more. I don't know whether this would have saved him, but it's the same thing of like the fort, you know, being there kind of thing. And you can just go back to your nice position again. Lovely use of cover again. Oh, yeah. And I feel as though Froggy, you will say to me in the things now of, oh my goodness, I was like, I didn't mean to res here. Like, your movement at some points is absolutely perfect. Like here, going up onto this high ground, beautiful, beautiful. But then this GA, instead of going to res, this should have just been a GA across. The reason is because you've got your Junkrat coming back with high amounts of damage. You can still keep your Genji up, and your Honors coming back as well. Your Sigma is very, very out in the open. My res to get me killed a lot is something I need to work on. Yeah, exactly, Frog. I feel as though it is a little bit like that sometimes, Froggy. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so it's very much like, what's it called? You like just need to like listen out a little bit more. I feel like I don't know whether you're playing with like a headset on and stuff like that, but if you're not playing with a headset on, then highly recommend you like getting a headset or like some earbuds in and stuff like that. But no, I feel as though because you have this Bastion that's in his turret form, you have all these people. I don't think there is physically any way you can get this right. Like I'm trying to think if you could drag it all the way over here, but I think if you're not in Valk, I don't think you can get it round. So this is very much like a no res. You could just GA across and then play this cover, help your Junkrat with like some damage boosted spamming. But it's all good. Obviously Anna's gonna be back, so we'll see what Anna could do for your Genji and stuff. I don't know whether like your team would have won that, because obviously what's it called? Would have helped or anything. So going in, healing Anna. Beautiful counsel as well. I don't see a lot of people doing that so often. With this scenario, you just want your beam on your what's it called? Your Sigma here. Instead of like putting it onto the Honor. Like you're going back like trying to look at someone. just stay with the team fight that's in front of you right now and just damage boost your Sigma. Alright? Obviously now you can damage boost your Junkrat. I like how you're going around destroying the beams. I would have not come up here though. The reason is because your team is kind of like doing this back out. And also it makes you very vulnerable to whoever's in these sight lines. I feel as though you're perfectly fine like where you were. And just because obviously the Bastion ult went off, just stay where you are. If the Bastion ult is going to go for you, you could just GA away or do something different. But obviously if the Bastion ult goes for other people, then you can stay up on the high ground and still help people from like here. And if you do need to rotate down like here, or you could even rotate up to like this high ground up here as well. But see what happens now. Obviously gotta go help Honor, which is nice. Nice blue beam onto the... I like this Valk, very, very nice. Lovely use of cover with this Valk as well, perfect. Lovely damage just onto Sombra. I really like that, especially when she goes in to do that hack and stuff, that's perfect. Lovely help on your Sigma. You can't, unfortunately, cannot do any more there. Okay. In this scenario, you know that your Honor's here. You still know your Honor's alive, right? What you want to do here is, like, you can just, yeah, hold on, let me go back a bit. I'll kind of, like, talk through it a little bit better. So, I love this helping your Sigma here. This is perfect. Obviously, dropping around on the high ground. Little mini GA. Still having Sigma. Can't do anything. I like this GA up. I love to go and help. At this point, you can just drop down and do a res here completely. Like do it, but like do it as soon as like he dies, right? Literally as soon as he dies, get in, and do it like here, because you know this Reaper's gonna TP onto you to try and finish you off. So he's gonna obviously come round and try and fight you here. But if you do your res here, then you're like more prone to dying for this res, right? And the reason why you want to get this res up is because you've already used your Valk, so you don't have a good ultimate for this stall now. Your Junkrat nearly has his tire, right? And tire can like wipe a team. So instead of going for the res, just like you should like not go for the res here, but drag the res around here and do it here, right? Because your Honor could touch this point. Your Honor's fine, because obviously the Honor just go and touch the point. It's fine. You kind of like, you just like, you kind of like go on, but now you have both of you on point. And when you're trying to stall out like this, especially when it's both the supports, you only really want one of the supports on point. Because if both supports are on the point, when you have people like Reaper, just run up on both of you. If one of you is playing off to the side and one of you is on the point, then the team has to choose. They have to choose, do I pick the person that's trying to keep the person on the point up, or do I just go for the person on the point? But we'll see what happens here. So obviously Nano's view. I want to kind of see this from like, oh, hold on. Let me just quickly go back and get your point of view on, because I want to kind of see it from your point of view. This scenario. So obviously can't help. Sigma, we go up. Lovely rotation. We do it, end up going on to contest. We get nanoed. Okay. When you get nanoed, there is no need for you to like just go out with the Glock straight away. I like how you went for the Moira, but then you kind of like looked a little bit lost with this Glock then. It was something like, oh, well, she's gone. Like, what do I shoot at and stuff like that. You kind of like then need to either like look around and feel like, okay, who do I focus? Who do I get? Or you just go straight back to healing people, okay? It's just like kind of like reaction time again. So I think overall, like Froggy, I cannot fault you on your movement the majority of the time. There were a few like little bits here and there where your movement's a little bit sloppy, but I feel as though once you kind of like polish that up, you will have amazing Mercy movement because you already have such good movement. Your use of cover is beautiful. I cannot fault you on that. Your beam uptime and your beam usage, flicking on that damage boost when it's needed and healing is perfect. It is so good. Things that we need to work on though. Your reaction time and your overall like thought process, you just need to be thinking a little bit faster, right? Just kind of like, and I think that comes with a little bit more experience, and it comes with playing more and more experience like with certain scenarios and stuff like that. Because once you have that, you'll be able to position yourself in better places and be more prepared already with combined with your amazing movement and stuff like that. It'll make you so much better at Mercy if you can do that. And there's something else I was gonna say. I think it's kind of you need to play, because I love your positioning and I love your like where you're playing, but there are certain points where you need to be more aggressive. Right? There are certain points where it's like you need to get out of that really nice little safe spot that you've got and go in and try to practice Neandra's workshop and the shadow dodging. Yes, Froggy. I love Neandra's code, by the way. Neandra's practice range, they have done such a good job with making it. Like, they were so good with making that code. Alright, so we're going to look at what we've got. We've got ourselves an Echo, Widow, Kiriko, Mercy, and Rhine. Now, we have, obviously, the nerf down Widow at this point, because I know a lot of people are asking me, oh, should I like damage boost the Widows, should I do this, right? Literally, you can damage boost Widow like you would do. I would say kind of continue damage boosting Widow like you were before the nerfs, right? Because all Widow's gonna have to do is you're gonna have to kind of like see when she's gonna go in aggressively and kind of help her out a little bit, kind of like help her out maybe a little bit more at certain points and stuff like that. But same time, like, don't bait her out. And I don't think she's going to be a main blue beam target or like up there. Still like a good damage boost target. Unless if she's on obviously like the sniper heavy maps and stuff. Like I feel as though Mercy's gonna be a little bit more like needed on maps such as like Junkertown, when like Widow is very predominant, say like Circuit Royale. You'll need to kind of damage boost her more. But just in like general like maps like Iceward, for example, especially attacking this first point, you don't need to be your Widow. Your Widow's gonna take a very aggressive forward angle if she wants to get a pick. You don't need the damage boost to enable, like, to basically make her range bigger, basically. And then, obviously, maybe being target's going to be Echo. Echo's probably going to go over these roofs in a second. Probably. So, obviously, damage boosting initial grapple up. I like that. Very, very good. But now you want to be trying to find your Echo. So, where is your Echo? I'm intrigued. Where's your Echo? Have I just, like, completely lost her? Hello? Echo? Why? She's hidden so well. Where is she? Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm going over the roofs. She's all the gosh. She blends in so well with like the forest background and everything. Yeah, this is what I mean. Where you should be following your Echo here. Your Echo can take such a good off angle on these roofs, and you can literally save your GAs by slide on these roofs and stuff as well. So instead of being with your Widow here, I did like the initial damage boost like shot up. I know like that's kind of like a really good thing like to get into practice of when she grapples up, hitting on that damage boost, because she can like quickly like she can sometimes get off like 2 shots if you're damage boosting her. You need to be with your Echo here. But we'll keep going, see what happens. You're very kind of focused on this Widow, I feel like. Like, you're not paying any attention to this Echo. If you were with your Echo now, you would have such, like, a good off angle, like, here. Like, you can literally just play all the way over here and attack this other angle over here. But instead, you're kind of, like, stood kind of AFK, just damage boost on this Widow when they've got literally a Rhine shield in front of them. Your Widow's going to be doing nothing right now, but instead your Echo's actually going to be doing something. Helping Rhine, which is great. I would have flicked on the damage boost there when he like does his fire strike. That's kind of just with the timings and stuff. Throughout this entire process, if you want to be with your Rhine here, you need to damage boost him. Damage boosting these swings will get rid of these people a lot quicker. And you have a Kiriko right here. Your Kiriko could just feed the healing into your Rhine. You just stand here with the damage boost, and it will make them retreat so quick. And it'll probably like make them use like some of their abilities too, like just to what's it called? Like I like how you're doing it now. Oh, okay, no, I did not like this position. This should have been if you, because it's the whole thing where it's like you're staying with your tank still here. It's like you kind of like completely just do not accept that you have an Echo on your team. Once your Rhine has like done this like nice little swing forward, you then need to go and engage with your Echo here. Go and enable your Echo. Go and GA up here and play up here. See this Bastion? Just crouch up here. Now, obviously, if you like stay with the Ryan where you were, you should like literally just stayed up on this high ground. G up on this high ground. This high ground is so good. I love this high ground. This is probably like one of my favorite high grounds like in the game. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, just stay like this or play. Well, the main thing is you should be with your Echo basically. But if you have some kind of thing where you have to be with the Ryan, then that's your best bet. But you end up putting yourself in a very, very bad spot. And I feel as though you end up getting your Echo killed because you just like, what's it called? You kind of just like don't realize the Echo's there for some reason. Did try to get the high ground, messed up my GA. That's alright, Froggy. Once again, that's kind of because we're just polishing up your movement. Because like the fights where you have really good movement is insane. It's really good. There's just certain little fights where it's like your movement isn't too great, and then you end up in like bad scenarios like that. But yeah, I feel as though you end up getting your thingy killed here. I respect the super jump res, but at the same time, you weren't gonna get that off. Like you already know where the Bastion is. And you know the team's going to turn around for you for it, alright? I must return to my post. So I think you kind of just like need to realize you need to be with your Echo. Froggy, can I just ask why you're not going with your Echo? This needs ulti damage boost, nice. Yeah, Froggy, I'm just really intrigued into why you're, like, not going with your, what's it called? Why you're not going with your Echo whatsoever. So obviously now you need to, like, be pushing the point. I'll keep on going as well while you, like, write a response to me. See, now you do the right thing. This is what you should be doing for the entire time. Playing up on these roofs. Playing with her. Obviously going to help your Ryan, which is perfect. With that res, I would have like put it round here and go around here. If I could spend an autopilot and did focus what I needed to do. All right, fair enough, Froggy. But it's kind of like that thing where it's like, especially like if you're wanting to climb, because you're always like, oh, like you know, you always keep on saying like, oh, I like, you know, I keep on dropping down to plat and then being in diamond. I feel as though if you want to play comp and you want to climb, you need to like kind of turn off that autopilot sometimes and really kind of like think about what you need to be doing. Because I feel as though for the entirety of the first round you had it switched on and you were like full on like damage boosting everything. You were doing so well, and then I don't know, it just seems like you've started this round, it's like you've gone into autopilot and you'd like it's all kind of gone, right? So once again you need to be with your Echo. You did the right thing kind of peeling for your Ryan. But as soon as you see like this Ryan's kind of backing off and doing fine, I think the payload was in the way in order to try and get to Widow, which is fine. With this res though, instead of like, because you kind of like just stood here and did it, you want to kind of res it around here because it gives more time for this Reaper to be able to come and get you. But you got the res off, so it's nice. You're going to get shattered, which is unfortunate. I don't know if you would have been able to avoid it if you were like around the corner or not. But it's all good. No worries. And we'll go in with the next one now. Ryan just goes in. Nice damage boost on the Bastion. Do the right thing here. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This isn't a Valk moment. A Valk moment for you at this point is you help your team stabilize here. You wait for your Rhine, and then, yeah, I got a call coming through. Oh, Froggy, look, yeah, that's understandable then. If you got a call for, like, a job interview, then obviously, what's it called? You're not going to be focused on the game too much. And I feel as though, yeah, will show the phone during this. I get that now, Froggy, because I'm like, this isn't the Froggy I know. This isn't the Froggy that's, like, doing well, you know? But no, 100%, like, for this entire, like, attack, I could feel like something was, like, weird. Like, this isn't Froggy, right? Yeah, so to go back to the scenario just at hand, we're going to pretend that you were playing, right? So, at this point, this is not a Valk scenario, because you don't have your tank, and your tank is going to be coming back and respawn. So literally, all you want to do is, because your team is still here, especially when your Ryan's just coming back from the spawn, you want to be helping keep this space. You want to be helping healing all these people, damage boosting your Echo and stuff like that, keeping them alive, because you can see, you saw this Reaper as well up here. You saw this Reaper. like wraithing down here, okay? If you can see this Reaper coming and wraithing forward, you know he's going to get that Blossom. So literally just come and play around this cover, alright? Yeah, we're doing time. Because then you could have saved your Valk for this kind of attack now, at this point, alright? So I guess that's you putting the phone down, so we'll get back into focus mode.
Thank you.
Alright, same thing, you need to be going up and attacking with your, even with any of these 2 DPS now, because you're kind of like focusing on this Rhine again. Just come up with it with this people. So you're with your Echo now, which is fine. Stay with her. Okay. Yeah, this is your fault. You kind of like you kind of like disconnected your beam from her, and you're like, oh my gosh, what should I do? And then you change yourself up when you didn't need to. Literally, just keep your beam on her and just kind of stay around this cover here, because you do end up kind of put yourself up here. If you do end up in a bad scenario like this, do some crouch spamming, like strafe walking, until you're able to quickly jump over this wall and kind of like use your GA on one of these people to get out. Because you kind of like got up there and you thought, oh no, oh my gosh, why am I here? And then you need to strafe walk a little bit and then get out if you need to, if you do end up in a scenario like that. But it's all good, we'll keep going. Team end up falling a little bit. So obviously we're just like walking back. Should be able to kind of like, obviously Echo's like at the mega. Instead of coming around here, I would have come into this room instead, because you can keep your beam on at this point, because you know obviously that your Ryan's going to keep walking forward. You can keep your beam on by literally just flicking through and coming around and playing in this room here. Plus it's a lot safer for you to play here, because you're not going to catch any strafes from like these two, or like say if the Bastion was still alive on the high ground as well, you're not going to catch any like strafes from him. So you just want what's called, come and play this room here for this point. You want to damage boost here instead of healing. He's up to his armor level, right? And if people don't know, armor actually reduces some of the damage that you take. So you want to, what's it called? You want to kind of like be damage boosting here. You have the Kiriko. The Kiriko is fine to be able to heal people, like heal your Rhine here. Stick the damage boost on him again. Gets the shatter off, which is lovely. Lovely ping on the Mercy as well. I feel that should have been a GA up onto the high ground. But it's all good. Damage to your Echo, which is lovely. I feel as though that's kind of like your Echo's fault, really. Because you're like, what's it called? You're following your Echo. I feel as though you could have like followed it like around here a little bit more. But yeah, you kind of was like following your Echo. Your Echo got into a bad spot, ended up getting you into a bad spot. So it's alright, no worries. It's just kind of like remembering like who's gonna be respawning soon and stuff like that. It's just, I feel as though with you, Froggy, it's just general game knowledge and reaction time because of it. That's just unlucky with that Widow. Nice, waiting for the res. Did the right thing there. Obviously, so this is kind of like same scenario as last time at the bridge. You want to, what's it called? Pulse got pulled up on the Mercy. No, literally. I never had a cute little crown. That's adorable. Okay, when you're pocketing people that are flying up, yeah, which is perfect. You've done the wrong thing though. I'm gonna be honest, right? Because if this Bastion wasn't so focused and like obviously wait, so the Bastion drops. If the Bastion, because Bastion was like staying up here, if he just decided, because while duping, Echo obviously can't be attacked. Boo 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 boo, right? Literally, whenever you're following a flying target, just hold your angelic descent down here, and then abductive or whatever she says, right? Dupes, just drop down. Play and damage boost now down at this bottom bit. You make once again like a bad GA choice. That's alright. I would have not valved here. Yeah, with this scenario, there's no need for you to Valk here again, because it's like you're Valking to help one person. And the only time that you should really do that is if you need that tiny little extra percentage of healing, right? Literally, all you needed to do here was just J across, play over here, and then when your Ryan kind of like drops and everyone was kind of like playing this team right here, then you wanted to go for this Valk and kind of like play it up like around here-ish and playing like this wall and everything. But it's all good. We'll see what happens now. No, so you can't do that res. I feel as though you should kind of know anyways that you can't do that res. Lovely beam management though. It's kind of a thing where it's like, instead of peeking it, you should kind of like know that you cannot res this Ryan here. Like, you have to kind of like think from previous knowledge and previous scenarios, there's like 4 people surrounding, you know, a person. Am I going to get the res off? Realistically, no. So you just kind of like look through the wall. You don't need to peek it or like have that risk of peeking it because you know you're not going to get that res off. That was very unnecessary, GA. There is no need for you to be up here. You could just play under here. Play under here, and then as soon as you hear this Bastion come up, you just... What's it called? Come up. Alright. The same with like the sound thing again. Yeah, lovely res. You see, you always like play... You always feel like your reses are quite like safe spots, I feel like, especially then. I feel as though this whole thing's kind of a bit of a mess. Backing off, perfect, because this is... You're doing the correct thing here. You're Echo staggering herself. Like, you're doing the absolute correct thing of, like, regrouping here. Echo should have regrouped with you. But she decided to go in. Lovely ping. Like, letting people know that she's, like, sorry, the Reaper's above you, even. Absolute correct thing. Wait for the Bastional. Perfect. It's just, it's like general, like, reaction time hits. Again. Go res Hanzo. I feel like you did the right thing of backing off the Kiriko though. And you end up losing the game. So, overall Froggy, I feel as though no matter... I'm looking kind of like at the game overall, and I would say that some of this loss is kind of your fault, and then some of it is your team's, right? For example, your Echo staggered herself quite a lot, right? Good things. Your beam management for the majority of the time is very, very good. Like, knowing who you need to put your beam... Apart from, obviously, the part that you're on your phone, which I'll talk about in a second. The majority of the match, beams were absolutely perfect. Like, knowing who to put your beam on, when to damage boost, stuff like that. Perfect. Awesome. Cannot fault you on that. It was amazing. And then just your positioning, majority of the time, was very, very good. Until you did a bad GA or, like, a random GA that you didn't need to. And then you get yourself into a bad scenario because you're on that autopilot. You're not you think to yourself, oh, I positioned myself here before, this will be fine. But you're not thinking about the scenario in hand. And you're not thinking, you know, it's like that forward thinking of being in the moment and thinking about those things, which I understand you're on the phone and stuff like that, which is very, very fair enough. And the last thing is actually your kind of like reaction times and reactions to your surroundings. Like, there's a lot of times I felt as though you could have, like, been a bit more preemptive with stuff or even, like, reacted a little bit quicker. And same with sound. I feel as though a lot of the time, with the Bastion specifically, you weren't kind of listening out for him. Bastion is a very, very loud character. And you can hear him, like, very, very loudly and stuff like that. And I feel as though it's just kind of, like, that little bit of awareness with the sound and also, like, with, like, where you're GAing to. So I think, Froggy, the things to work on are brush up on your mechanics a little bit more because your mechanics overall were really, really good. And I think just mainly, just kind of focus, focus on, how do I say it? Focus on, obviously, reaction times and reactions to your sound and, like, surroundings and stuff. And then at the same time as well, just preemptive stuff. Like, you are a smart player, Froggy. I can see from the really, really good bits in your plays. I know that you're a smart player, and I know you know what you're doing. And it's about kind of, like, applying that a bit more, if you get me. But yeah, sadly, guys, that is the end of the VOD. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, you can get your own VOD reviews. I do them for £10 of channel points on TikTok, and I will go through, usually spend quite a lot of time on them, as you guys can tell, going through every single little bit of detail, no matter what rank you're at. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye!